Hi, I'm Dr. Renata Wix-Harris, and today I'm going to talk about the Mint threads, which is a new type of thread lift that we're adding to our services here at Reflection Center in Martinsville. What makes Mint threads unique is the fact that they are, first of all, molded threads, meaning that the barbs, the little parts, the wing parts that do the lifting and the anchoring, they are actually molded onto the thread instead of cut into the thread. And because they're molded on, it makes them way more sturdy, and it makes the thread much thicker. Another thing that's unique about Mint threads is that the barbs are actually arranged in a helical shape. They go all around the thread instead of just on top of it. So you get, gripping in all directions. And again, that makes them more effective and last longer. Mint threads are made out of PDO, which stands for polydioxanone, and it's a sugar molecule that's used to make these sutures. And your body breaks it down over time. It usually lasts about 6 to 8 months, but the actual effect will last up to 12 months because it stimulates the body to make more collagen. So with Mint threads, you can do non-surgical lifting. You can insert them into the mid face and the lower face to kind of give people a little bit of a lift. It's not going to be as good as a true surgical lift, but you can get a big improvement in the sagginess of the lower face. You can also use them to just sharpen your jawline by putting them in this direction. So when you give a little pull here, that can make your jawline look more chiseled and more defined. And then finally, you can also use them to lift the brows. You can put them up here for a more natural brow lift, or you can put them here to get more of a cat eye look, which is very in vogue right now. These are threads, so they kind of have a weight limit. You can't really use them in people who have very heavy tissue, either very heavy skin or very heavy subcutaneous tissue. You can't use them in people where the main issue is actually muscle laxity or excess skin, or very thin skin. Those are not good candidates for the Mint threads, because you'll either if the skin is too thin, you may see them, and if the skin is too thick, they just won't have enough power to lift the area effectively. We make small insertion points. They're like needle pinpoint marks where we insert the threads, and those will be visible initially for about 48 hours, I would say. They can also feel a little bit swollen and will be a little red looking. The area where the threads are placed may swell, and sometimes you can have some bruising there too. The swelling can last up to 2 weeks, but usually it's about 1 week where it's noticeable, and then it starts going down during the second week. Occasionally people will have some areas with puckering, which is not very common, but it can happen. Most of the times that will go away on its own. Sometimes you have to loosen the threads a little bit by kind of pushing on them. We don't want patients to do that themselves. I always have them come in 1 or 2 days later to take a look and see if that needs to be done. Another thing that's important is that we don't want any strenuous activity for at least 2 to 4 weeks. Anything that will that can dislodge the threads, like standing upside down, yoga, weightlifting, anything that's pretty strenuous exercise, we don't want you to do that. But you can walk on the treadmill, that's completely fine. Another thing is that we don't recommend for people to have a facial or a massage, or lay face down to have a massage. Don't have any dental work, and try to avoid any exaggerated movements of the face, like smiling really big or opening your mouth really wide, because you want those threads to give them time to settle. And usually that's about 2 to 3 weeks. Pricing depends on the area that you treat. It starts at about $1,200 for a brow lift and goes upward to $2,500 for mid face and lower face. It depends on how many threads you need and the area.